Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video you might see that I'm wearing a different shirt than the other previous parts of the video you're gonna see because I accidentally deleted the video that I made somewhere up in the iCloud. I don't know where it could be, so I had to start over. It's just an introduction. I want you to comment, click, and subscribe. Positive vibes only, with the comments down below. And we're going to get to it, okay? So this is part 2 of my series of videos that I'm making, careers that are related to my siblings' careers and adding African American history to it. So in my first video that I made, I know I had a lot to say, but it's gone now. It's somewhere up in the iCloud. Maybe it's not even the iCloud because I deleted all that. And you know what photos, video I did not delete? Cupcake, my cat. She's still on camera because I was trying to make space. So we're just gonna get to it. I'm just gonna add this part into the video, but basically this is part 2 of my siblings' careers, and we're gonna talk about my brother Joe, who's a security guard. Let's get to it. Okay, African Americans and security. African Americans and security. First, let's start off with, what is a security guard? You know, what is a security guard? What do they do? You may know sometimes in Hollywood, they may be portrayed as that silly guard, that lazy guard, you know, who had these ambitions to become like the major cop, but something happened that you may see in Hollywood, you know, sometimes. A security guard that I think about most of the time is Martin Lawrence. He played, I think the character's name was Otis. He played that character, that funny security guard. He was a little bit older person, and he was a little like here, there, everywhere type of person, security guard. And there's movies, so many movies about security guard, or security guard have a little role in the movie. You know, they're nosy. They chose that career for some reason, and they're a security guard, and they make you laugh in the movie if the movie's too dramatic or something like that. And I know Martin Lawrence played a lot of security guards. He had a movie out, National Security Guard, I think, or Security. Who knows? Well, I'll put it somewhere. And he played that funny character in his very popular hit sitcom, Martin. And he played that funny security guard, Otis, okay? So, according to research, a security guard is a person employed to protect property, assets, or people being present. Stopping like criminal activity and respond to emergencies. I feel people like security guards, police officers, firefighters, all those emergency people, they tend to run towards the fire where other people are running away from the fire and need to be protected. I know my sister, who is an amazing nurse, I know she would like protect her patients, you know, as best as possible, like something like a fire, earthquake, or something like that. Me, myself, being a preschool teacher, if anything happened to those little babies, I will do my best to protect them, you know. But I can see myself at a mall, you know, and like there's an emergency, I'm holding my warm pretzel, and the security guards are going towards the fire, you know, towards the activity, while me, I'm running around crazy, holding my pretzel, think about what's going on. So that's what security guards do. They help protect people, and I think some security guards carry badges, some security guards carry weapons to protect, and that's what a security guard does. They're there to protect. Okay, so we're going to talk about Frank Wells. I might slip sometimes and call him Willis, but his name is Frank Wells, and I want to pay respect to his last name, Frank Wells. So, as I did this research, I was learning about Frank Wells, and I noticed that he passed away at such a young age. I was doing math, y'all, and I noticed that he passed away at such a young age, and I was like, he had to be about 52. So I was doing more research, and I wanted to see how he passed away. Some articles state that he passed away from AIDS, and some articles stated that he passed away from a brain tumor. When I was first researching this, the first articles that I found was him passing away from brain tumors, and I was like, this hits home. This hits home because, as some of you guys may or may not know, I myself was diagnosed with a non-cancerous brain tumor back in 2023, about 2 years ago, and I had to go through 2 surgeries, radiation, and it's still putting an impact on my life as I speak today. And as I read that, I saw the word brain tumor, and it was just like, okay, now this story is getting more hitting home. It's hitting home, and I want to do more research. Like I said, most articles said it was AIDS, but as I researched more, said brain tumor. So it's gonna go off what the article said and what what the researching I was doing said. So let's give respect to all those fighting all these cancers, illnesses. Let's just give a little respect for that, and we'll continue on. Frank Wills was born February 4th, 1948, and lived a beautiful, courageous life until September 27th, 2000. He was born and raised in Savannah, Georgia. I was about to bring on my accent there. Savannah, Georgia. He was raised mainly by his mother, who we will mention a little bit more later into this story. He lived with his mother. He dropped out of 11th grade of high school, and he continued with some more education. Nothing was going to stop him. He earned his degree in Job Corps, which I still think exists today. He was working an assembly line in Detroit, Michigan. Some articles say a different story, but one article I'm going to talk about say he stopped working in this assembly line due to health issues, mainly asthma. And I was thinking about my tumor and things I did not know, but things that was happening to my body. And I wonder if this played a pivotal role in his whole career, his whole life, basically, of things that he may or did not know. So Willis traveled to Washington, D.C., where he learned a job as a security guard. Woo woo. So he's working as a security guard. And guess where he's working at? The Watergate Hotel. And this is where we get into that history. Okay? So many of you guys may or may have not heard about the Watergate scandal, including one of our presidents, Mr. Nixon. It was a big scandal. It was all over the news. It was about tapes. And every time I think of President Nixon, I think of that guy holding up these two peace signs. So I'm not going to get too much. I'm not going to get into the scandal, the Watergate scandal. If you want to leave comments down below about your information about the Watergate scandal, let's start a conversation or do some research about the Watergate scandal. But I'm mostly going to I'm mostly going to focus on Frank Wills, okay? And his pivotal role in help solving the case of the Watergate scandal, okay? The Watergate scandal. So, some articles say it was daytime, some articles say it was nighttime. But Mr. Wills was doing his job. He was walking around the Watergate Hotel and doing what he do. He was protecting. He was doing his job. He was protecting. He was doing his job. So as he was making his rounds around the Watergate Hotel, he noticed that the back door had some duct tape on it. He was probably like, who put duct tape on the back door? This ain't right. So he took the duct tape off. He's making his rounds again, doing his job, protecting the people in the hotel, making surveillance, making sure everything is safe. And he finds duct tape again. So Mr. Wills was like, this ain't right, He called authorities, and the authorities did more investigation and found out that there were 5 men were arrested in the Watergate scandal. So 5 men were arrested during this. And this helped evolve and open up the case of the Watergate scandal. So yeah, there you go. He was doing his job, protecting, surveillancing. And that one little thing that he saw, he didn't just say bye. He was doing his job. He was like, nope, something's not right here. So he called authorities, and that helped broaden up what the Watergate scandal is all about. So let's give it a big old clap to Mr. Wills for doing his job. So the Watergate scandal, after the Watergate scandal, after interviews and just being questioned here and there, Mr. Willis went back to take care of his mom, which we mentioned in the beginning. Unfortunately, she passed away, and she suffered from a stroke. And to me, thinking about him, he going back to take care of his mother, that means a lot. Like you're gonna take care of the person who raised you and took care of you and loved you as well. So you go back and do it. According to research, after Mr. Willis, he had harsh times from this, but his legacy lives on. I should have mentioned the Watergate took place in 1972, and after all this time, he still has his story. And according to some research, he was also had a little role where he played himself in a popular movie, which I haven't seen. He played himself in this movie called All the President's Men, and I do believe it was about the Watergate scandal itself. So maybe that is something you can go out and check out and learn more about the Watergate scandal. And like I said, his legacy continues to live on. And I wanted to mention, prayers to those who are suffering. Like my shirt mentions, not all wounds. Can you see that? I'm about to show my belly. Not all wounds are visible. That's what I'm trying to say. So, like I said, his story impacted me. Learning that he had a brain tumor or passed away from AIDS, I was just touching, and that he helped open up the Watergate. And like I said, this doesn't end here. This video doesn't end here. I'm going to start talking about my brother Joe. Let's get to it. Okay, now we're going to talk about my brother Joe. Sorry, y'all, he's taken. Joe is the second born of my family of 6 children. My brother has been in security for the last 15 years. He says his typical work schedule is Thursday through Sunday, so he works 4 days and 10 hours. He does training, which is called the Power to Arrest, in the state where we live in, which is California. The agency that runs security officers is called BSIS, which stands for Bureau of Security and Investigative Services. Ain't that fancy? He does an annual 8-hour refresher course. He is not armed, but he mentioned he has firearm qualifications, which he renews every 2 years. Just wanted to note, my brother and I took Taekwondo, so watch out. So like I mentioned earlier in the beginning of this video, my brother protects property and people, watches out for crime, monitors suspicious activity, and responds to emergencies, just like Frank Wills did on that June 17th in 1972. Okay, guys, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I try to make these under 10 minutes, but there was so much to talk about. First, we had to talk about the history, like what a security guard does. We talked about Mr. Frank Wills. We also talked about his passing and how the passing of his tumor impacted me, because I'm going through the same thing. And then we talked about my brother, and we didn't talk a lot about the Watergate scandal, but we mentioned it just a little bit. But like I said, I try to keep these under 10 minutes, and I don't think I did it. But I hope you liked it, and learning about African American history, a person who played a pivotal role in the Watergate scandal, and learning about my brother. Like I said, I'm trying to do a 5-part series of each of my siblings' careers, and so this was the video number 2, the longest. Let's see, it could be the longest. And so I hope you liked it. It was a lot of research, so give me a comment down below. Positive vibes only. Subscribe and comment down below if you want to learn about something that you're interested in, and maybe I could do some research on that. And let's see what we can talk about next. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.